Good morning, good evening, guys.
Good morning, Reena. Yes. So, hello everyone. Very good evening. Today is the another day of Be Agile Scrum Track, and I'm quickly going to share my screen and let me know once screen gets loaded. And I know the seriousness at your end, but you know the seriousness at this end to deliver what you are here for, and you are here for getting placed. It's my responsibility to let you know that how you can protect your goal, your objective, by applying some of the code of honor. Can you see my screen? I have shared my screen, but I'm not sure whether it is loaded at your end yet. Not
It's already
Not for
loading.
me.
still loading. Okay,
Yeah.
the load is little slow, but anyway, can anyone remember? Is there anyone who remember that what is the very first code of honor? What we need to practice quickly, because I don't intend to spend more.
Being on time.
Exactly, you are right. Thank you so much. Showing up live, and that says that it is being on time, remain punctual, and go highly committed. Why? Because this is what you need to practice once you get placed in any kind of meeting, even you are as Scrum Master, Business Analyst, attending any kind of sprint ceremony. And why? How you can practice? Why you need to practice? Because it is universal law that says how you do anything is how you do everything. Second one is being the full stack student, because here you are on the path of learning. So learning alone is not everything. So it also let you indicate to become a full stack student. With learning you become mere just student. Who is the full stack student? Who does all the assignments which are asked to do, doing self research, and repeat whatever you have learned. If you are not following this, you are not full stack student, and this is the basic requirement to achieve the goal for which we are here. Okay. Third one is the taking the full responsibility of success or failure. If you are following this, you know what you are attracting, that is nothing but the success. But we don't recommend people over here just to come and get trained and go back. These trainings are not just for learning. These trainings are with only one intent, to get you placed. Okay. So when you don't follow these all items, you basically attract the failure. It is you who is going to take the responsibility of failure, because you have not completed few things which you are asked to, which can lead to the success. And when you will take the responsibility of this failure alone itself become the trail for the success. So ultimately everything is leading towards the success, but what is lagging is just taking responsibility. So take the full responsibility and follow this third code of honor. Fourth one is having the mindset. It requires positive mindset, learning mindset, and going complaint free, but loading yourself with the gratitude. And then only you will have the bulletproof mindset. That's what I call it. And Earl says, on the path of any achievement and conquering any goal, if you go negative, you will only attract the negative. And how will you quantify or qualify, or how you can check that we are every single day you are leading towards the positive mindset? Any single day, if you miss to listen to the audio track by Earl, it means somewhere and somehow the negativity has hit. But you could continue to your commitment of following at least 30 days, at least by listening to every single day once at least. Then you are just following the positivity, and that's the basic yardstick. Because the kind of material is there inside the with the value it is loaded, it is only going to push you towards the success. Okay. And that's why I shared his audio. in my voice, because his audio was quite old track. You can listen to it just within 15 minutes. You can consume what he says by doing your exercise, jogging, or whatever. You can start your day with Stranger Secret. Second one is golden quadrant of learning. That means declare with the anchoring and learning and drawing and then summarizing. So we could have gone straight away learning, but there won't be any point if you don't uh, understand that. It should get synced inside your brain. But even it is not enough when it gets synced just when you are in the session. Your brain should remember it when you are out of the session, so that you can handle and control any kind of interview as per your will. Okay, and for that you need to showcase and demonstrate you are capable of doing so. The moment you are not capable, you will refrain from doing so. Okay, but yes, this learning we are going to start with this golden quadrant of learning. And here what you see on the screen, the selected string that we are going to repeat along with the anchor. So anchor is nothing but it is a self clap, and this is self high five. So at the count of 3, be ready to declare. Are you ready to declare?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, everyone. Thank you so much. So 1, 2, 3, and go. I am a quick learner.
I am a quick
I'm a
learner.
quick learner.
What others can learn and master,
What others can
What
learn
others
and
can do,
master,
master,
I too can do that,
I too
I
can do
too
that.
can do that.
because I'm an awesome learner.
Because
Because
I'm an
I'm an
awesome learner,
awesome learner.
Today's learning is going to be super duper easy to me.
today's
Today's
learning is
learning
going to
is going
be
to be
super duper
super
easy to
duper
me.
easy to me.
Once again, self high five and just repeat along with me. 1, 2, 3, and anchor. Yes, it is going to be. Yes, it is
Yes,
going
it
to.
is going to
Yes,
be.
it's going to be.
Yes, thank you so much for repeating along with me. Yes, it is going to be super duper easy for you to understand. And that's what I intend, that any complex things should be presented to you in a very easy manner. And when you get ready, it comes to you. Okay. And on this path of learning, I request all of you to go egoless, so that the more you go egoless with not having this intent, hey, I know this, I learned this later, even something is coming on your way, embrace it so that you can have a further new insight, and that keeps you also spiritually grounded, because you are welcoming the new, even repeated, so that you can go with stronger insight. And once you start earning after this learning, you are requested to have an intent to give away to the society by doing a small charity, by giving back what you earn out of its 5% or 10. When you give, you continue to grow. So when you give, you grow, and when you receive, you may survive. So this is 5%. You don't know the magic of this 5% and 10% until you use it in your life every single time. I have been using, my couple of students are using, and they are finding it really, really great support. So this is support not for the society but for you. And don't just do this with the intent of getting more, but do this to inspire more. Okay, and continue to appreciate what you are doing, and even others do for you. And however, on this path something does not seem to be in your favor, continue to appreciate that as well, because you don't know, every single step is preparing you for the next one, next new one. Because and why you need to appreciate that, because there is universal law associated with this, says that what you appreciate appreciates you back. So on this note, I'm let me share the slide what we are going to learn together. So wait a second, someone is trying to join, let me allow her. Okay, Prerna, I'm also going to make you co-host, so that in case something goes incorrect, you can just take the charge of it. Somehow I'm not able to stop my screen share.
Okay, let me log in from my laptop also then.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I have stopped screen share. There is a lag from my system, so that I can notice. You hear me, Sawan?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so somehow my uh, Zoom was, I think it was crashed or what. I really don't know what has happened. So I was logged out. So wait a second. Let me reshare my screen and let me make Prerna the co-host. Yeah. All right. So yes, I'm going to share the screen now. And today, any guesses what we are going to cover and learn? Any guesses, guys?
Retrospective.
Thank you so much for sharing, Sonali. Yes, little bit before that, we will be listening today and learning today sprint review with best quality. And also we will see that how definition of done is going to come in this. Okay, so can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, super. So this is in the agenda. Uh, this is moving little slower, I guess, at my end. Really slower. Okay. Prerna, I have made you co-host. Hello.
She said that she was gonna switch to her laptop to give her
Okay,
5 minutes.
okay, no problem, no problem. Thank you so much, Sawan, for sharing this. So yeah, this is the agenda: sprint review with high quality, definition of done, and product backlog management. This is what we are going to cover. And here you see on the screen is sprint review with the best quality. When comes the sprint review in the Scrum process? Any answer?
After the Scrum planning, I mean the sprint planning and everything.
Exactly. When you continue to deliver every single user story one by one, you get to see that now it is getting ready. Things are getting ready for the feedback. And sprint review is nothing but it's a meeting, and it should be natural result of sprint if involving the product owner, the Scrum team, and the Scrum Master, the management, the customers, and developers from other projects. Can someone quickly tell me in a layman term that what do you think sprint review should be? I have shared about it earlier, but still I quickly want to hear from you. Anyone? Someone, any
Basically,
guesses? Yeah.
yeah, it's basically like a review of what you're working on and what is happening.
Yeah, exactly. You are right. And why we need to share this, and who is the intended participant who would be keen in listening to that?
The stakeholder.
The stakeholders. And
Yeah,
absolutely, thank you so much for sharing. Absolutely. And this is going to be basically mainly customer, because customer
yeah.
has given us the work. Yes, thank you so much. So here agenda is simple. Development team talks about sprint, what went well, problems that arose, how they have come so far developing these all, and giving you all the facility to start your own work. And then how they solve those problems, demonstrate completed work, product backlog item, and they answer any question customer asks. Product owner, he discussed the current snapshot of product backlog and roadmap. He takes the opportunity over here talking about it. Okay. And projects likely completion dates with various completion rate or velocity. I think we had covered this. And on this point of time, I requested you all to listen to this velocity video. Did you listen to it? Any one of you? Could you?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
amazing. Great to know about it. Thank you.
Yes.
And agenda for this sprint review meeting is further development team talks about the sprint, reviewing the goal for the sprint, that anything in the upcoming sprint can be incorporated and deleted, demonstrating new features, if any new feature inclusion has happened, requesting feedback from the stakeholder whether they are liking, and discussing work not yet accomplished. They would be talking about that, and identifying the risk and impediments. Okay, what risk they are seeking. Say, for example, in the meeting, they find that few information are delayed. As a business analyst, you find few information are basically delayed from customers end itself, and you cannot hand over the analysis and design, which is also known as A&D, to the team, to developers, to DevOps team, or to architect, or to tester. They are not going to work on it. Do you understand this? What did I just now said?
Yes.
Everyone
Yes.
did understand? Yeah. So fine, thank you for your answers. So what is going to happen? This is going to impact the timeline. Say for example, customer is talking that he needs to develop something, right? So in case something is pending from customer itself, business analyst cannot work on it, right? And product owner cannot plan it. So that's why these risks will be identified even in the sprint review meeting. And then they also review the increment, what is in the way, what they have delivered, discuss because they discuss what is not yet completed, looking ahead to the next sprint using the top lines from the product backlog item. So yeah, this complete review happens in the sprint review meeting as well. So dev team who worked on it, so even business analyst, if he himself or herself is very, very much confident, so they get the ownership of demonstrating the piece of item which has been developed to the customer, so that customer gives the green, so that they can deliver in shortest time, okay, in the same sprint. So with the best quality, how you can deliver? So in Scrum, each point is required to deliver a potentially shippable product increment. So when it becomes in fact shippable, when it is approved by customer. Are you following, everyone?
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes.
and this means, thank you so much for your answer. So this means that at the end of each sprint, the team has produced a coded, tested, and usable piece of software. And the moment you hear this word shippable, it means the coded, tested, and usable piece of software is known as shippable. Okay, you can take a note of it as coded, tested, and usable piece of software. Fine. Did you take a note of it? You can see here the last line, coded,
Yes.
tested, and usable piece of software. Thank you. So during the sprint review, the project is assessed against the sprint goal determined during the sprint planning meeting. In fact, in sprint planning meeting, we understand when we can start working, and that time DOR comes into the picture. DOR is nothing but it's a definition of readiness of a small piece of a work, okay, so that you can mark it as done when it gets completed. Are you following what I said? Do you want me to
Yes.
repeat
Yes.
this? Okay, thank you so much for your answer. Ideally, the team has completed each product backlog item brought into the sprint, but it's more important that they achieve the overall goal of the sprint. Okay. So every product backlog item ultimately they have to consume, but in fact, what is the intended and decided in the same sprint that has to be delivered. All right. So this is the thing. Let me quickly mark. Okay, she's already co-host. Who else has recently joined? Okay, so I have marked the co-host. Uh, then go ahead with this. Okay, in Scrum, okay, sprint review with best quality continues. Crossing the finish line and completing work requires good planning, a clear definition of done. Do you understand crossing the finishing line? To when we start any work, we are completely enthusiastic. Then we are given with some responsibility. Okay. Do you think everyone completes it? No, everyone everyone is not everyone is a magnetic personality. Either you can be a mediocre or you can be a magnetic. The choice is in your hand. Okay, and that's the reason even for any sprint performer, okay, they choose that they really want the good planning to achieve what is to be done and over deliver the things. Over deliver means customer is delighted. and the mediocre person, the mediocre delivery person, or the person who is just thinking that I need to fulfill the things, and that person never adds value neither to the organization nor to their own personal life. Okay. They just think for managing the things, and that's why they don't just manage the things, they manage their own circumstances. They are the people who are managed by the circumstances. Okay. And that's why you don't find such people to grow in their life. Okay. Because they are playing at a very low level, they are playing just mediocre, they don't play magnetic. Okay. So this is a simple thing. What you are asked to do, are you going to perform below that, or you are going to beat that? So how should one perform? Below definition line or beyond that? What do you think?
Beyond it.
Beyond.
Exactly, beyond that. Then only you can over deliver, and you can shine to be a rated 5%. Rated 5% means that who has got in their review a 5 rating, 5-star rating, I mean to say. Okay. So all those activity which are required to do, you are doing, but also you are going extra mile and doing something extra for your organization. And again, I would like to recode the one universal law over here. This comes with this universal law: how you do anything is how you do everything. Okay. So this applies even for here you are attending the training, it applies to that as well. Tomorrow you will be attending the RRP session. This is going to apply over there. So what you are consuming, are you really delivering back? Okay. Is your goal is crystal clear why you are here? Just to get place, what all the required things are there, whether you are following it or not, everything is connected with each other to prepare you to the next step. So a culture of delivery, effective teams bring clear processes and development culture to each and every work item. So culture is very, very important. In the Be Agile Scrum track, this is only the time when we are not seeing the culture is being followed. We always set this culture to, follow the golden quadrant of learning that starts with the anchoring, and then training, and then designing, and then delivering. Okay. So this is how simple fundamental it is. Okay. And then comes following question need to be asked and answered during the review. And in review, what happens? Are stories well defined? So do you understand what do we mean by stories? Hello,
User
everybody.
stories.
Exactly, you are right. Thank you so much for answering this. So stories are well defined or not by the product owner or designer and the engineering team before implementation, so that everyone comes on the same page. All right. And then comes this. Okay. With the best quality, how you can deliver. Does everyone understand and live the team's engineering values and culture? You have seen the various values and culture. So for the sprint and agile, culture, values, and principle are most important, because everything surrounds that only. That becomes the axis. Okay. So that's why it is very, very important. And why it is encouraged? Because its value is again associated with your personal values as well. So your personal value, the more it is aligned with the agile, you will find you are the best performer for that. Okay. So that is one. Then another question you can ask, are there clear definition and requirements around code review, automated testing, and continuous development to encourage sustainable agile development? A very simple question. So definition has to be very, very clear. So based on these definition only, you are going to give the result. Okay. So this is something to introspect, not introspect. I am not going to take this name, but yeah, just to analyze your performance, your delivery only. Okay. And after the team completes a story, are there many bugs that surface? In other words, does done really mean done? Okay. It means what you are marking as done, whether it comes with the completion of the all the bugs fixed, or all the tasks completed, or it is just a done you are going to mark. No, for that all those linked item should be closed. Are you following what do I mean?
Yes.
Everyone is following? Thank you so much, Savan. Everyone with me,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your answer. And the team's culture around quality and completion should rise above every user story. Wow, I have been talking about it. Engineering work, item, and bug. This culture is reflective of how the team approached and delivers software. So again, keep asking yourself, am I playing mediocre, or I am going to play magnetic? So then you get the answer. When you are really over delivering, you are asked to do, you are doing, and also you are doing what you are not asked to do. That is towards the delightness. Okay, so consider these training as a part of project. If you are not experiencing it, you are, how will you find yourself conquering all those interviews which are going to come in front of you? On this note, let me ask you, how many of you have started attending RRP sessions? Anyone? If not, the
Yeah, I'm
silence.
attending.
Thank you so much, Aparna. Thank you so much. Then you will continue to get idea. You need to build minimum 500 connection on your LinkedIn so that you become visible, so that clients will approach you, so that you know your visibility to getting hired goes high. Okay, so every single thing is preparing to you towards getting placed into IT and IT corporate of America. Yeah, so start working in that direction. And does it go in the same manner? No, just have fun also. Okay, so how can you have fun? This review does not just mean review. So this has been evolved, this has been changed. Earlier it used to be sprint demo. Okay, so feel like parting over it because you have achieved something. So show, earlier what used to happen, sprint demo means show code completed, we used to showcase that. Focus on user story, user story, and user story. Feedback aimed at working software, and meeting used to be boring. And I generally love to say that be anything in this world, but don't be one thing. And what is that? Any guesses?
Boring.
Boring.
Yeah,
Boring.
don't be boring. Absolutely right. Don't be boring. So add some spices, sprint review, change this all things. You are literally go ahead and you can give high five like this. You can see over here. Okay. On the completion, if really by appreciating someone, encouraging them and encouraging the team. So share business value delivered. You don't have to get work delivered. Along with the work, if whether value is associated is not, is very very important. Focus on correct context and goals. It's just not what you give, it is also how do you give. Are you following it?
Yes.
Yes.
Remember this. So it is not only what you give, also what you give, and that is associated with context and the goals. And then conversation on how value impacts the customer, and then celebration. Just have fun. So, and finally, celebrate. An effective sprint review can be that place where the Scrum team and stakeholders come together for serious, powerful collaboration. But it is also time to celebrate all together the hard work the Scrum team has accomplished before they plunge into the next sprint. It has not to be just go that, hey, we completed one, let's move to next. No, actually, you exchange the value, you exchange the warmth between the team, and thereby you decide that you can collaborate further. So it just not has to be formality. I hope you are following how important sprint review is. Yeah.
Yes.
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 You are marking it as a complete now. Because you have completed the stuff, that's why you are moving into sprint review. But what happens exactly when you are marking things as a complete, what you are marking as a definition of done, we are going to look at it. And for that, may I invite Prerna for taking from over here this definition of done, also known as DOD. Prerna, you there? Can you hear me? think not. Prerna, if you're talking on mute.
Hello. No, Gaurav, there is some latency on sound at my place sometimes, as I think I.
Okay. No, I saw that you were muted. That's why. Okay.
No, fine, fine. But I tried to unmute, it again got
Okay.
stuck. No
Okay.
worries, we are here. Thank you so much for this elaborative explanation.
Mhm.
And we can go to the next slide. Yes.
Okay. Would you like to take it from here?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So should I move to the next one?
Yes, please. Definition of done, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Over to you, Prerna.
Thank you so much. Okay, so this is one of the very interesting as well as a very important topics to understand. And it has a very, I would say, interesting name as well. Definition of done is also called as DOD, no, a capital D, small O, and D. So it's often you may get asked that what do you understand by DOD and what is definition of done. So this can be a typical interview question for all of your knowledge, and we are going to learn that in detail now. So when I say done, that simply means whatever you are developing, whatever you're working, that has to be releasable. Okay. So releasable means, what do you feel when I say, or what do you understand when I say releasable? Anybody? What is your understanding of this word releasable? Yeah. In any context, that doesn't matter that it has to be IT. What do you feel when you say, when a movie releases? So what is your understanding when we say releasable?
Basically, to me, it
Deliver.
just like, oh, go ahead.
No,
Yeah,
you go.
I 1 second, 1% at a time. Savan, you can start.
Well, to me, releasable is more like it basically is like, oh, you had the item, but you gave it back to like fix it. It was like broken before, but then you gave it back to get it fixed, and then we gave it back to you, and it's working now.
Okay. Okay, that is your understanding. Okay, that's interesting, I would say. Yes, I think who Aparna or Aparmita, somebody was saying. Yeah. Aparna?
Yeah, releasable means all the bugs have been checked and the quality is good and it's fit to be given to the customer.
Okay, quite nicely explained. Yes, okay. How about Aparmita, Sonali? Yeah.
Yes, for me, it's like already it's done everything and ready to departure.
Oh, right. I think Aparmita would be messaging because I
Yes,
couldn't hear
Aparmita
her.
won't be able to speak up. So I
No,
just
not an issue, not an issue. Okay.
yes.
So to give you the actual meaning, what you thought of Savin is the actual process of IT. But when we say releasable, that means what you mentioned that has already been done, right? That means all the checking, all the bug fixing, all the testing, all the development has been done. And now what we have, the piece of code, the functionality, the application, anything, the presentation, that will be presented to the customer, that will be delivered to the customer on the similar lines, that will be released to the customer. Okay. So that is why we call it as releasables. When we say something is releasable means it can be displayed, it can be delivered, it can be released, so you are ready to showcase that to the end user, to the outside world. Okay. This is in simple English. I'm not even trying to use any jargons. It is as simple as what it means in the context, when we say about releasable. Can everybody, like three of you, just read out these 5 line items one by one?
Oh, what does it
What
take
does it
for?
take?
Oh,
Go ahead.
go ahead, Sonali. Oh,
All right. What does it take for the rocket to launch?
what does it take for the service engineer to call the customer for the delivery of his or her vehicle?
What does it take for a doctor to say the surgery is a success?
Okay, last one I'll read. What does it take for the development team to put the product into the production? So can you see what we have done here? We've kind of given you hints that when, how and when this situation comes. Okay, if you've seen any typical Hollywood movies, or even for that matter some of the Bollywood movies, they have all the preparation done, all the checkings done, with respect to rocket launching. Okay, you know how well resourced and well prepared they are, right? So this, that kind of a situation, I'm not saying it will be that complex, but yes, the intensity of preparation will be that. So that kind of situation we have in IT, or in our Scrum methodology also, when we say something is releasable. It's very interesting, and it's actually very useful also, and it's very practical. Okay, I like things which are very practical in use, so that can be explained well, and you can relate it with your real life. Anybody can relate it for that matter. So Gaurav, can we just? I think you've made me okay, no, but I think will be nice if you could. Yes, yes. Thank you so much. So see, I told you this is how it is written in short, and this is what it means. So there are three major components of DoD. That is definition of done. And those are, one second, business or functional requirements. Second, quality. And third, non-functional requirements. Okay. So these are the things that you should check when you are, trying to work on DoD, or you're trying to reach the requirements for DoD. Okay. So first is business or functional requirements. That means that whatever the customer has asked for, or they were asking for, are you able to complete it? Have you able to complete it? Have you uh, like develop that? Have you have you inculcate all the features, all the functionality, all the requirements? Okay, that's one, and that's always going to be the top priority one, because this is why we are here to deliver as per customer demand. Second is definitely quality. When I say quality, quality simply means whatever you deliver, it has to be of the good or the best quality. Quality can be in the form of how this website is looking, the look and feel part, or the aesthetic parts, the part we call it. Quality can be in the form of how you're handling the database. Quality can be in the form of how much response time your page is taking. Like, for example, if you write google.com, and in how many milliseconds that website is loading and stuff like that. So all these things are very important. Okay, and the last is a non-functional requirement. So it can be non-functional requirements, means it can be an ask by customer, like technical ask. Like, for example, they simply mean that your website should be fast in loading, your database connectivity should be good. Like, for example, if you're filling up some form, that form should be nicely submitted. There should be proper validations. Whichever website you use. Like, for example, you must be using banking websites, like for ICICI, HDFC, or any other bank. With me, it's like Axis Bank. So many a times you see their applications are so smooth. There will not be any latency, the page will run smoothly. And if you feel there is some page is taking time to load and something like that, the banking website will mostly kind of log you out, because they're very highly secure, and they ensure that everybody is using properly, there is no delay. And in case there is some network failure or something, so just to ensure that nobody or some intruder is not misusing that website, or some personal login, they'll ensure to log you out. So if whenever you want to know about the safety security side, always think about your banking applications. Okay. Yeah, Gaurav, we can go to the next slide, please. I think Gaurav, did you stop sharing? Yeah. Yeah, it's back. So what exactly it means? Okay. Can you read this out? I can request any one person to read. It's very small.
What
Yes,
exactly it means.
yes,
Anything which
absolutely.
is to be marked as done before delivering has to be agreed amongst engineering team, Scrum Master, and the product owner.
Absolutely. So basically, your engineering team means Scrum team or development team. These are some synonyms used throughout. So you know how I don't know. I mean, if that's the funny example or that's the real example. You know how as kids we used to play any games and then it will be all hypothetical and imaginary, but then we all used to be on the same page. For example, if you're as very small kids, I'm saying, as you if you're making some imaginary food or making, you know how this younger girls play that tea party game with their parents, especially their fathers. I don't know why they like to have their father as their tea partner. So that they make tea, it's all imaginary, but then you all agree to it, right? You other person says yes, yes, you're done now. They try to act as a sipping the tea. So imagine everything is hypothetical, everything is imaginary, still you are in sync. So right now here we're actually working on a development, on delivery, and then it simply means whatever you're working on and deliver on, everybody has to be in sync. Many a times, and why I give you this example, many a times in IT what happens is development time per se is not that confident about the delivery because they did not have sufficient time or they did not get sufficient or successful response from the testing team, and still they are pressurized. I'm just giving you any rough scenario. Still there is a pressure from senior management or the seniors that they have to deliver. They have to deliver it to the customer, they have to release it, they have to deploy it, they have to go ahead with the delivery. And then we can simply understand they are not comfortable. See, it's not done always. Definitely development teams input is required and their go no go is always taken, but there are scenarios when just going live is so important that they are pushed beyond their capacity. But in Scrum we don't do that, right? Because we know what we are dealing with, we know what kind of developments and deliveries we have, we know what kind of customers we have, and the quality of work we have to deliver. That's why the engineering team, that's our development or Scrum team here, our Scrum master, who is like a bridge between the team and the product owner, and ultimately the product owner, who has a 360 degree view of the project, who has been in connection with senior management, in vendors and customers, everybody. So they all have to agree that yes, we are ready, we are completely done, we have done all the checks, the quality is absolutely right, everything looks fine, and then we go ahead. You see the impact why it's so important, because see, development team will think from their point of view, development, testing, or application and technology. Scrum master will see from integration point of view that every team member has contributed, okay, all these things are taken care of. And then product owner, last but not the least, will check his priority bucket, his product backlog. Okay, we were to develop this and we were to deliver this and we are working on that, this. So this is basically a holistic approach of how to go ahead and how to ensure that something is done. Okay, are we good? Anybody has any doubts in this? Gaurav, you want to add something here?
No,
No?
we can we just
Yes,
move to the next one. Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. Perfect. What is that anything could be? Okay. DoD can be used for any user stories, any code deployment, any release, or any sprint. Okay. I already explained this before starting when I said that when we say definition of done, see, basically definition of done is a concept. Okay, it can be used for your daily work also. If you're cooking, if you're preparing a presentation, if you're doing some coding, or if you're doing anything, if you're planning a trip also, you have this checklist. I mean, I go by checklist and I go by list. I'm heavily on list. for any trip, for any weekend activities, I have my list. Any major, I would say. So yes, for such kind of thing, even if you have a user story, if user stories are generally big and they have some interesting details to be known and to be developed. So all for all kind of things also, what is your definition of done? So are you have you completed development? Have you tested it? Have you ensured that it's running smoothly? Have you done the integration properly with your application? So same way, same for code deployment. Okay, has the code been properly tested? Have you tested in user acceptance testing is properly done? All the environments. See, in testing also you have many environment. You have your unit testing on developer's machine. You have UAT, that is user acceptance test, in a kind of a separate environment created for testing. Then you have your production testing. So all these things keep happening before you put into production, because you also have replicas of your production. You have many things. So there is a long checklist or long list of items to be done before releasing. So that is with respect to code deployment. Same with the release. I explained earlier, for any release you have to check the technical, non-technical requirement side, and ultimately the sprint. So in a sprint, whatever you what all things you wanted to deliver, have you delivered that? Have you reached that? So all these things are very important when we talk about a DoD, and these are some of the highlights when we talk about what we have to check and how DoD is used. So DoD is basically a concept, a way of work that can be used in any of these milestones or any of these actions. Yes, Gaurav, we can. Anybody has any doubts? No. Okay. Please, guys, if you feel you have anything need more explanation on, I'll be more than happy to explain. Yes. Now this is business or functional requirement. So basically, additional details that emerge through conversation. So 1 second, let me sip some water.
Do you want me to continue on the slide, Prerna?
Yeah, Gaurav, you can if you wish.
Okay.
Thank you.
So here we are looking at what? Can anyone answer me? What we are looking at right now?
Business or functional requirements.
That's the heading, but what we are looking at?
Oh, basically like what the customer wants.
All right. So
compared
let
to
me
what they-
quickly tell you. Thank you so much for making attempt to answer it. So yes, what we are going to look at now, that business or functional requirement, under business and functional requirement, is nothing but the user story. As we have been talking about how user story will be created, that will be the chunk of a bigger requirement. When it is broken down the smaller chunk, so user story means what? Just to write down the heading of the one piece of requirement, making it smaller? No, there is a way to write it. Okay. And what are that way? The way what you see over here is this. As a, then you mention a user actor, because for to perform anything, there could be a multiple person. One thing can be performed by multiple person. Yes or no? Do you agree with this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So we will write for every single such user that as a who, I want to do what, so that what the impact it will have. So this is the format. Using that, you write the user story. You can take a note of it. The format is as a, say for example, I'll talk to you that we were talking about the automobile thing. We When we were talking about what it takes to launch a rocket, what it takes to delivering or completing the service engineer to a car. Say for example, your vehicle is in the garage. Okay, who all will be doing? Cleaner will be there, technician will be there, and tester will be there. Say for example, 3 people will be there. Okay. uh, Automobile engineer is the technician, then cleaner is there, and then who else? The tester. I would say. Tester, after your vehicle is served well, he will test everything is well functioning or not. So when it comes to cleaner, as a cleaner, I want to check the ignition, so that will be assured that it is not it is not in jam condition. Okay, that is number one. Number two, that is the cleaner's job, that at the end should not happen that at the end, because of his cleaning, something has been he is taking in his control, so he will check things has come smoothly to him. So that happens with the cleaner technician. As a technician, I want to as a technician, I want to see whether the ignition is working properly, or I want to test ignition so that I am assured that ignition is smooth. So that goes with the technician. Now the tester before delivery. As a tester, I want to see the ignition so that I'm assured that it is smooth. Okay, you saw three people performed the same activity. Yes, now this was just related to ignition, and there could be the various other parts. So the car itself is a big project, and serving to the car is a big another objective, and we started dividing its parts in a small user story. So one user story went with the one user, one second user story went with the second user, third user story went with the third user, but the objective was the same. Now the fourth user story may go with the first user, however with the fourth object. Okay, it could be, just now we have checked with the ignition, we could have checked with the accelerator. Do you agree with this? Are you following what I said,
Yes.
everyone?
Yes.
Yeah. So this now come back to the softwares as well, application as well. Now can you quickly tell me some module of one application? Do you have your mobile nearby,
Yeah.
close? Okay,
Yes.
so in that mobile, just look at any of the app, and in that app, can you quickly tell me few modules that you see in the app? Do you have any app where you do shopping in that mobile?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so in that shop, what all three modules you can give me a name of? Let's start with Savan, three modules what you can see in your that shopping app.
The search bar,
The search, what else?
the departments, basically like electronics and all that.
Okay,
Electronics, hygiene, and then the
okay,
profile.
okay, so category you would say. So search, category and profile, three modules you talked about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are three modules of one application. Thank you so much for sharing. Aparna, could you share?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also have a search button. Then I have categories. Then I have selecting a location. Then
Okay.
signing in.
Okay, so signing is one. Second, selecting is selecting a location, that is something separate you have spoken. Okay, which is not as equal to as someone. Sonali, could you attempt three modules?
Yes, the first I can see the search bar
No, don't try to
notification.
repeat what others have said. Just tell us something new, what you think that are not covered
Yeah,
here.
sure. So in the front on the app, there's one promotional event which is going off for shopping
Mm-hmm,
that
mm-hmm,
is showing, and the down of that the item which I already viewed, I can see that,
mm-hmm.
and the third one is the profile at the bottom of the page.
Apart from profile, anything else?
Uh, explore.
Explore is nothing but search, as equal to as search.
Right. Um, okay, there's one promotion again, the M Select that comes with the premium customers. I can see that at the top left. bottom.
Yeah, so
Sorry,
promotion is there,
top.
history is there. Apart from this, can you think of anything else?
Um,
Continue to look at your
Category.
category we have
Yeah,
touched.
the diff. Okay.
Promotion and then history. What else?
And the sponsored brand.
Sponsored brand. So these are
Yes.
nothing, but these will be the part of category only, Sonali.
Okay.
Think about
Studio.
it. Okay, so studio you
Uh,
said, right?
Yeah, studio.
So in studio, what exactly happens?
The live session of the influencer and
Okay.
their Instagram profile and all. That's
Okay, cool. This
different.
is something a new feature. And which app, by the way, it is? Because I have not seen any shopping app which is bringing this thing.
That's a Mintra app actually.
Okay, it's in Mintra. Okay, no problem.
Yes.
So yeah, thanks. That's a great ad, I would say, to such shopping cart. And yes, thanks for taking our time to look for these. Yeah, these are the name of the modules. Like Aparmita has given, wish list is one, cart is one, barcode is one, contact information, location, and branches are one. Yes, adding to the card will be this. So these are the various module. And who would be doing that? Will you be only doing that as a user? No, not necessary. Sometimes at customer support end, they will have the authority to check all these. Do you agree with me? Yeah.
Yes.
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 That what is your activity you have done. And also some admin user can do that. So there would be three. So whatever you have said, three people, in fact 4 people said three items. So for one module there are 12 item, means 4 3s are 12. And say for example, if we have come with the how many more 12 item, because everyone added 3 so 12 into 12, 144 user story you can write for just 9 module of one application. And we have just talked about it. So remember, this is how you can break it down. Okay, now for user story, when you will write user story, the business analyst will do what? They can also attach the design. Okay, below, just below the user story, what exactly he mean. Okay, and also every user story will have an acceptance criteria. Okay, so that will be supportive to it. So acceptance criteria means this is the format to write user story. Then acceptance criteria will be a format to accept when it will be marked as done. Are you following? Then where you will write just below user story, there could be additional drawing that you can attach. And just below user story in the comment section where you have written the user story, maybe the comment section will be a new section. Okay, say for example, when you give a review to the app, you not only give the star mark but also you write the comment. Do you follow?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
what you will do, you will this likewise there will be one additional comment section where you can mention the acceptance criteria if it is not labeled as acceptance criteria. Okay, and it will go as the format is given when then. Okay, the same thing you will write given when then. Given cleaner cleans the car, given cleaner when cleans the car so that he tastes ignition works. Simply, the one user story will have the corresponding one acceptance criteria. Do you follow now?
Yes.
Yeah, but also
Could
remember,
you repeat one more time? Sorry.
it has 3 elements: given, when, then. Okay, given,
Okay.
given, and then when is the next, and then is then. Okay, and it will follow the activity. Given a cleaner when cleans the car, the activity, so that he assures the smoothness of ignition. So that is covered along with the then. I want is covered when with along with when. And as a is covered with given. Did you follow? What did I say?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
I'm just plugging the power on. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm back. I have just switched on the power of my laptop. Now I should be continuing. Now, what additionally you can attach to a user story? Business rule. Say, for example, when you are mentioning the business rule, so always a cleaner has to check ignition. Say, for example, this is mandatory business rule for the service center. So you are going to mention that so that this user story is not going to be missed at any point of time. Okay, say for example the business rule is right, like user story cannot be just adhered into the whiteboard, it has to be pinned. So you will not test a user story posted is just it is fixed with the help of gum or not. So whether it is fixed with the help of gum or not, the pin has to be there. Are you followed? Are you following? What did I just now say? A quick example I give for the user story post-it itself. Say, for example, one user story is mentioned on the post-it. Post-it, do you follow what is post-it? Small piece of paper which can be used to fix it, glue it with the some surface. Are you following what I am trying to say?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
in the similar manner, and for that user story, there is a business rule that, hey, don't rely on this gum, don't rely it to be glued with the help of gum, but also pin it. So that becomes the business rule. So in the similar manner, for the various app, that there could be a business rule. So, for example, one application gives you the business rule. The moment user logs in, the timer should start. Okay, that is one business rule. And why? Because they wanted to track your screen time or how much time you spend. That is one business rule they wanted to incorporate. Second, a business application, sorry, banking application. The moment uh, customer goes idle, the timer should start. Why? Because it wants you to logs out, or it wants to end your session because of security reason, because this is the banking application, and that's why it is incorporating the time calculation factor. Are you following?
Yes.
Yes.
So various example I give. Now what comes? Workflow for supporting these all things, not only business rule and drawing, you can also attach some workflow is the kind of a what kind of what you call I'm just is a tip of my tongue, and I'm not able to recall. Workflow is nothing but a flow chart. Okay, kind of a flow chart. And the mock-up is nothing but again design diagram. Algorithm, if you want to add, you can. Data points, how it is connecting it is, so everything you can attach there in the comment or in the attachment when you are writing a user story. Is it clear now how user story is written?
Yes.
Super,
Yes.
thank you. And I want you to do this exercise in coming days. I'll tell you when you are going to practice this. This is how acceptance criteria I have given you. So for acceptance criteria, even though I have given you format, not every organization follow the same acceptance criteria of writing in the style of given when then. So there is one example, user story example one. As a frequent flyer or as a flyer, I want to view my past trips so that I can find out how much LTA I can claim. So this is the user story. Against it, there are two acceptance criteria. Should be able to find out rupees spent per trip. Okay, as a result of this user story, should be able to find out rupees spent per financial year. So that can be tested using this user story. Okay. Second one example is, as a frequent flyer, I want to view my past trip so that I can find out how many miles I have earned. Should be able to find out our miles spent per trip. So that I can find out how many miles I have earned. This is the objective. It is matching with the first one. Should be able to find out our miles spent per trip. Can it be achieved? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The another one, and everyone is in agreement with this, along with the Saman. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, thank you. Should be able to find out validity of miles. So how much miles and from when to when I have used these miles. So we using this, anyone will be able to achieve that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank,
Yes.
thank you so much. So this is another exemplary translation. You can take a screenshot of it, and if you want, you can create a various user story against it. So first one is distance, another one is class, and then class has the bronze, silver, and gold. Okay, category. So and again in distance there is a range that below 1,000 kilometers. Okay, below 1,000 kilometers there are two categories of classes for economy and business, and membership type will be awarded for the different discount. Maybe that is for bronze, 50% discount will happen on the kilometers that is below 1,000, and then 75% if it is business class. So this is how you can create your own user story. I want you to take the screenshot of it, and if you can work on this user story, nothing like it means you have mastered it. Are you following what I said? I explained you one user story, but now I have given you the table. Using that, you can translate this table into the various user story. So 3 to 6. Okay, 3 to 6, and then to 12, and then to 24, and to 48. Minimum 48 user story you can write using this. Hello, what are you feeling? Doable? Will you give it a try?
Yes.
So if you have taken the screenshot of it, I would request you to give it a try. Okay. And also try to write the acceptance criteria. Don't worry that you have to be perfect. This is the very first time I want you to try. Okay. And I'll keep on saying, because I have been waiting. It's been 3 weeks. Okay. I waited a lot. I had just one summary from the Prerna initially in the initial days of the week. So not Prerna, sorry, Aparna. And but rest of you did not come up. Yeah, you did not deliver anything. Just wrapping up at the half. This is the half. Okay. Just anchoring, declaring, and learning. This is just half. Okay, you are not learning completely, because you are not adding what, your drawing that is not visible in the summary, because you are not posting that, even if you are doing. Okay, so I'm your customer here. You are the vendor for me. Okay, when it comes to the training, and training is considered as a project. Okay, so I'll ask what I want from you, right? And this is your job to deliver that. Do you agree with this? So this is how it is. You don't have to play small unit to play big. Okay, this is what I wanted to say with the help of this exemplary translation for user story. That is your additional assignment. Okay, so on this note, I can, so you have taken the note of it, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, super. Prerna, do you want to quickly take this? There are 3 slides remaining if you want, or I can continue.
Yeah, yeah. No, this is fine. I can take the quality part. Yeah, sorry, I got something in my throat. Yeah, can I just request all of you to read one by one?
Quality is largely aligned to coding language / rapid application development / technical tools to build the product. Quality is owned by the development team to ensure that the product is of maximum quality. These quality standards can be subjective and also data driven.
Example.
Yeah, yeah. Please go ahead.
And the third one, define coding standards like identified in tools, FX scope, etc.
Test-driven development. Then comes unit test coverage. Then
I think
comes
she
maintain.
read it completely, Aparna. So if you have not focused, means if you did not notice, she read it completely. Okay. So this slide is read. Prerna.
Because I heard FX cop the last.
Sorry, I was on mute. I was on mute. Yes, so when we say quality, there are some parameters that we always have to look at, okay? And these are some of the very good examples that have been given. So when Savan read it out, it simply meant that whatever we are developing using any coding language, any technique, it can be rapid application development, it can be any methodology, any framework for that matter. We have to ensure that the product quality is good. And by the way, I really want to ask you one simple question. In our life also, in any interaction, it can be in the sense of shopping, purchasing any equipments, kitchen appliances, or searching for a job, or finding a home. What is the one thing that we always look at, right? And that I think has to be quality amongst any other all other parameters. So same applies for IT as well. In that absolute term, that means with respect to deliverables, with respect to delivery, with respect to client expectations, with respect to you as an organization, as a team, what are the checks? What are the checks that you have to undergo? So a few examples with our context are defined coding standards like identified in tools and etc. So, just for your knowledge, there are some unsaid and definitely said coding, I would say standards or coding rules. So, for example, your code has to be clean. There has to be, easy to understand code, and it has to be, I would say, if someone else looks at it, they should be able to understand, and it should be user friendly as well. Like whatever you're developing, you have to keep the end user in mind. It doesn't have, it should not be difficult to understand, and so on and so forth. It's like you should write the comments, you should use this kind of variable names, and so on and so forth. Many teeny tiny details goes in there, but then we are not here to discuss on that. Only thing I want you to understand is when I say quality, that simply means even if you're writing a piece of code, that has to be of good quality, that has to be delivered in proper manner. Okay. Second, a test-driven development means whatever you're working on. I already mentioned there are many types of testing environment. The unit test is something that is done by developers. Once he completes developing his part, then after that on his machine, he tests the what in a piece of code or any app or the application that he has developed. That's called as unit testing. So before you're going to the testing team already, the code has to be tested on his machine first and foremost. So that is one of the things to do. Next is unit test coverage. So yes, what all that unit test covers, what all it includes, what all things, the functionality, the errors, the alerts, the loading time, or everything, if there is any database fetching activity, then how fast it is happening. All these things has to be a part of it. Then yes, maintainability index, no defects, known defects, technical depths, and design principles. Now these are some of the technical side of the development side, I will say. But for your understanding, it simply means that whatever you're working on, the software that you're working on, the maintainability of that software, or how to manage that software, that has to be kind of well thought of. So maintainability index means whatever the line of source code or whatever line of code you have, that has to be consistent, that has to be proper. There should not be any junk code, too much commented code, how you go ahead about it. So all these things, so there are like measuring to it. So 85 and more is better. 65 to 85 is moderately maintainable. So basically, these are all technical side of the development, but then it's just a good to know terminology. So how well and how you can manage the uh, quality of your code. So these are some of the ways. When I say about design principles, means what kind of design principles you use. There can be who is a technical architect, how they are managing the code, so how the flow of the code is going. So all these things simply means that how well you are managing the code. So, for example, technical depth means how well you are handling the software development cycle or software development methodology. Are you using any approach that's causing to your problem, or are you using a simpler way wherein you can achieve the development, delivery in better way, better time, better speed. So all these things are important. You can read about them more if you wish to, but this is, I'll again highlight, this is mainly from development point of view. They want us to learn what all things we can avoid to achieve the best quality. Okay, so I think we are good here. No defects and known defects simply means we should know that our application is it's defect free, or also if there are any defects, any errors, we have to handle it. So how do we handle it? You remember, you were working on any, if you are on any website and you click on something and then alert or pop-up box comes in stating, okay, oh, you can add maximum 5 items, or you can do only this, try again after some time. So this is basically error handling, that whenever any error comes, how do you handle it? You have to ensure that your application doesn't break. So you have to give proper error messages, and you have to ensure that the flow is running smoothly. So this is a lot on the technical side of the product development, but still it's definitely good to know things. So anybody has any doubts on this? If no, then we can move to the next slide. Yes.
Prerna, I would quickly add in these
Sure.
checkpoints from bottom up to
Yes.
example. So design principle is nothing but it helps you to understand the algorithmic function. Okay, so that's what is maintained in the design principle. Technical depth is nothing but the extra piece of line of the codes in the while coding that appears when developer continues to debug when he is coding. So those extra lines of codes are generally called as technical debts. No defects, non defects are also part of quality which you need to convey to the customer, that either it has to be no defect or it has to be known defect on which you are working. Maintainability index is nothing but this is a matrix about the easiness and smoothness of the maintainability. Okay, how easily it can be maintained. Unit test coverage, that covers the set of the test cases what developer is going to test upon after the coding is done or designing is done. Test driven development is nothing. When development happens, it will be also supplied with certain test data given by the tester to the developer, on upon which the developer can test that. And defining coding standards like identified in tools, fxcop etc. is fxcop is the name of the Microsoft product tool which analyze the coding standard. Okay, how complex it is, easily understandable or not. So this is what I just wanted to add. Any question around it? If not, can we move further? Can we move further?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So yeah, Prerna, you can continue in the next 3 slides. So there are a few examples.
Yeah. Thank you, Gaurav, for adding the information.
Yeah.
So yes, okay. Let me start this way. We have requirements. Those can be functional and those can be non-functional. Okay, we did use this terminology earlier. So when I say non-functional requirements, functional requirements means what? The customer would come and say, okay, I want a portal, I want an HRMS portal, human resource management portal, wherein my HR can see the attendance, my HR team can see on which project somebody is working, what is their grade, and what is their joining date, and how basic things, there has to be the appraisal process inbuilt, and all these things. So this is a very, in simple term, functional requirement. This is the functionality that your customer is expecting, that your client is expecting. But when I say non-functional, that simply means what all things they want. So these are the some of the pointers. That means availability, maintainability, performance, reliability, scalability, security, usability, compliance, regulatory, and legal. Okay, so I come from banking and finance domain, so I know how hard it is when we say compliance and regulatory and legal. So starting with availability, that simply means by when your code or your application will be available, and how long it will be available. Like many a times there are some down times, there are some I would say, you get those alerts from bank stating due to some maintenance activity or whatever, this your application will be down for some time. Very rare, but you do get, because they need to have that maintenance work going on. Generally it is in non-business hours, but then how up and running your application is. Okay, that's the one way of it. Generally almost all the applications are 24/7, but in some of the scenarios it's good to know how well they're doing. Second is maintainability. Maintainability means once your application is delivered to you, how well it is maintained by your team, or by the development teams, I would say, side as well. Like how long you can use that application in case there are some changes. For example, on the HRMS side, earlier only 5 users were asked. Now they want to now they have a team of say 10 or 15 HRs, and they want to increase their application. So in this case, the scalability and maintainability goes hand in hand. So first of all, when I say scalable means, can I scale up that application? Like earlier, only 5 people were using. Now maybe 15 or maybe 50 people will use. How they'll manage the database connection, how they'll manage the load, how the data will be saved, how the data will be fetched. So all these things are basically related to scalability and again performance. Like I'll give you some examples. I'm just trying to think about some easy to understand examples. Okay, if we have a party at home and you are supposed to cook for 5 people, I know it's a piece of cake. You'll cook for 5 people easily, because daily you're cooking for 2 4 people. So cooking for 5 people is absolutely fine. But tomorrow you have a party and you have 50 odd people, 50 or more, all the dynamics changes. So you have to cook more, understand the proportion, understand the quantity, and so that way, when it comes to scalability, your performance also comes in the picture. Like how well you will be able to perform, and how well your system can perform, and when there are too many users or too many things happening in your application. Okay, so basically these things all go hand in hand. Reliability. Okay, I explained performance and explain scalability, then reliability. Reliability and security also go hand in hand. So basically means security, you definitely know that there should not be any external attacks, any phishing attacks, any hacking attacks, and how well you're this is very important in case of any financial or banking application, because when you log in, you're very vulnerable. Your account details are there, your funds are there electronically. Everything is available. If someone makes an invalid transfer, so though it is very difficult now, because we have a lot of OTP system, and we keep checking that the proper user is logged in. But given a chance, hackers and those people are quite a lot smarter than a normal development team per se, because they have this exceptional mind. That's why they get into all these reverse engineering kind of work. So yes, when we think about any application, we have to ensure that it is secure. There are no external threats. And when I say reliability means, if there are 50 people using, still their application is working fine. The application is working on other machines, other system, other servers. So it's reliable or not. Is it working properly? Like it's not that if you have taken some licenses, they should be for the long time. It should not be a short term thing. So that kind of things you have to keep in mind. And then usability, yes, I give this example of HRMS. So you have to ensure how many users, how many HR team are able to use it. See, many a times what happens, if you have seen this rocket launching scene in any movies, you see how many buttons they have, or for simplicity's sake, if you see if you see, I would say, aeroplane, plane, where the plane cabin, where the captain sits, or rather ensures it flies the plane. You see how many buttons are there, how many indicators are there, how many, like, it is so complex, if I have to say it that way. So your application should not be like that. It should be very easy, easy to understand. Person can know how the flow goes. They can ensure that, okay, we have to click here, then we can go, we can submit page here, submit form here, we can view this diagram here, we can view this information here. So basically it has to be very easy from usability point of view. And legal and compliance goes hand in hand. Like, for example, in banking, there are many audits going on therein. We have to ensure that whatever data we are storing, that is encrypted. Your passwords and user IDs are not exposed in any of the database connection string, or anything. Your data is synced properly. You're using encryption methodologies. Your connectivity is proper. At the same time, not multiple users cannot connect, or you can't connect from multiple browsers and things like that. So many things come in picture from regulatory point of view. You have to adhere to some of the standards, or you have to fulfill that. This many users, this, you have to ensure there should not be more than this many bugs when we talk about any regulatory or compliance. So all these things are from industry standards point of view, and we have to ensure that these are the non-functional requirements that come in the picture, and that have to be fulfilled when we deliver any application. Okay, I know these are not the daily things that you discuss, but these are definitely good to know things from understanding point of view. So yes, anybody has any doubts in any of the pointers, or I'll just request Gaurav to take over.
Yes, thank you so much, Prerna. So yes, very well explained, and really very well explained, I would say. So this is how you need to also go back to scrum.org. So you will find there, scrum.org is the website, and the authenticity around Scrum, which also talks about DoD in the similar manner. So if in a nutshell, you can find three types of DoD, that is definition of done, at initial level, and matured level, and a stringent level. So in the stringent level, you will find that it has to be UAT approved. Do you know what is UAT? Who knows that? Anyone? Any answer?
User acceptance testing.
Exactly, Aparna. Thank you so much. Amazing. So what is user acceptance testing? Any idea to anyone? This is a test done by customer on which they can see that I am going to own your software now. I can accept your software. So is it clear to everyone? What is UAT?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I hope to everyone. So, and here the regulatory requirements are met, what Prerna just now explained. Documents are updated, okay, and completed. Peer code review is passed. Peer code means one developer looks at the another developer's code. Okay, so that is called as peer review. No known defects. Even defects are not there, and in some cases, generally no defects, I would say. Load test is passed. You know what is load test? Load test means when many user from the decided capacity at one time uh, start performing multiple activity in one application. So this kind of testing is called as load test. Pen test is nothing but the penetration testing. So that is somewhere close to related to what you call security breaking part test. A regression test means what was fixed, whatever the bugs were there, so those have been fixed. and given back to the testing team to test. They are not just only testing the defects, but they are also testing the surrounding area, whether they have also been impacted or not. Are you following just now? What did I say, everyone?
Yes.
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 Okay, thank you. So functional test means normal functionality check. They do maintainability indexed for the modular or modules or code. It has to be below 90 as per the index. So it talks about the maintenance of it. And functionality test automation, in case things are getting automated, 75% should be automatable. Okay, and it is automated and tested. No errors in coding standards. Unit test coverage should be less than greater than 85%. Okay, that you have covered while developing itself. Developer has to test. No build failure. Integration testing is passed. No build failure means at user it has reached with the various build, and last build are, say for example, 11, 12 and 13. So in 11, 12, 13, these three builds means the versions have been given to the client. Build mean the version are given to the client for them also to accept. So these have never been failed earlier. Okay, means broken means they deployed it, and you find that there is always blank screen. You are not able to perform anything. It means the build has been failed. Are you following what I said?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So no dependency, unattendance. If any checkpoint data points connection is there, that has been also checked that it is working fine. All business functionality and acceptance criteria met. So you just now learned about acceptance criteria. Business functionality could be the reference of user story. So this is how is the stringent definition of done. However, matured just comes with these. These are just part of stringent one. And initial level, you can start with the acceptance criteria to unit test, no known defect, and peer code review and documentation complete. So always, if you master stringent, you know what all goes inside in stringent, you can decide upon the mature. Okay, and you also can decide upon initial DOD. And these all came from stringent only. Any doubt on this?
No.
Okay, others?
No.
All right. So we have come to the end, and we will continue next with the product backlog management. Prerna, do you want to add anything else? Thanks for your answer also, Apamita, for participating. Despite your bad throat, you are participating. Prerna, do you want to add something? All right. So I
Sorry,
hope.
Gaurav. Sorry. I told you I was trying to talk and
Okay,
yes, no,
lag.
no. I think we are good. We've learned a lot many today, and I just want all of uh, us to revisit this and kind of relearn again, because there are many teeny tiny topics which are great for discussion even during interviews, even during project discussions. So yes, I think we are good to close today. Thank you.
Okay. So one thing, the question over here, Apamita can type, and rest I'll go ahead with the Savan. One thing, what comes in your mind from today's learning, and how do you feel about it? Savan.
Well, to me, I learned a lot about what goes into Scrum review. I mean, sprint review, basically. Basically like what happens with the systems, how everything works out, and like the different modules, basically.
Mhm.
And it was very informative to me. Like, but I'll still be rewatching the video to make sure like I understand everything.
Okay, but still you could understand what was explained
Yeah,
to you?
yeah, I
Okay.
understood what everything was explained.
Okay, thank you so much, Savan. Savan, you can call out someone's name other than Apamita, because Apamita would be writing. That's what I'm expecting from her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perna?
Aparna. Yes, Aparna, what do you feel like saying about today's training, and what do you feel about it?
Yeah, I learned about sprint review, definition of done, and user stories was particularly very interesting.
Mhm.
And I would really want to watch it again and learn more. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Aparna. Call out someone's name on the screen. You see
Sonali.
Sonali. Yes, Sonali. What do you feel like saying?
Yes, it was a very good session today and very interesting. Got a good understanding for sprint review and DOD, the clear picture of DOD, what is it exactly? And yeah, definitely gonna rewatch the session again.
Superb, amazing. And I expect Sonali, Aparna, and Saman. And if you are listening to the recording, Pratibha and Krunal, and who else, if you are listening to the recording, I request you to come back with the summary. Okay, looking forward to have summary from you all. And Apamita, you also can contribute. In fact, you can share some you have from the earlier one as well. So thank you so much. Will be okay. So what she says that I'm sure the topic is difficult, but it was made extremely easy by you. User story and definition of done is quite an important topic that was clearly understood by me. Thank you so much, Apamita, for paying attention and still consuming despite your bad throat. So more power to you once again, more power to everyone. And we'll talk to you soon again on Sunday. But in between, don't get disconnected. Remain connected by drawing what you have learned, by attending RRP session, and stay focused and summarize what you have learned. Looking forward these things from you, and you have been given additional tasks to work upon the screenshot you did of the user story of the airline smiles. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye, good night, and talk to you soon, everyone. Bye, take care.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Good
Good night,
night. Bye
everyone.
bye. Good night.
Good
Bye.
Good night.
She spoke finally. Bye.